If you went to school outside of Canada and are trying to move to Canada to become a permanent resident, you need to have your education assessed by a designated organization in order to apply for permanent residency, even if you went to school in Canada. Now stick with me to the end of this video as I do a step-by-step walkthrough of what this is, why you need it, and exactly how to get one. ECA stands for Education Credential Assessment. And what this is it is a process that assesses the degree, the diploma, certificate, or other credential that you got from outside of Canada. And then it determines if it is valid or equivalent to a Canadian credential. Now, if you were educated outside of Canada, here's when you need it. 1, if you're trying to immigrate as a federal skilled worker. 2, if you need to prove that you have met the educational requirements for an immigration program. And 3, if you want to claim the points for your education on your express entry profile, even if you went to school in Canada. I attended school in Canada and I had to do an ECA for my bachelor's degree from my home country. Now, where do you get one? There are certain companies that are designated to do this process. So one of them is World Education Services, and this is the one that I use, and it is the one that I hear most people using. But there are others. There is the Comparative Education Service provided by the University of Toronto School of Continuing Studies. There is the International Credential Assessment Service of Canada. There is the International Qualifications Assessment Service. And there is the International Credential Evaluation Service in British Columbia Institute of Technology. But, there's a but. These institutions are dependent on your occupation and the type of degree that you have. If you have a different type of degree that we're going to talk about next, then you need to go not to a designated organization, but to a professional body. Some occupations need a professional body, not an organization. So for people who are in the medical field, they go to the Medical Council of Canada. And this is if you are falling in any one of these 3 occupations and knock codes, right? So if you're a clinical and lab medicine specialist, or a specialist in surgery, or a general practitioner or physician, you have to go to the Medical Council of Canada. For pharmacists and ones that need a license to practice, they need to go to the Pharmacy Examining Board of Canada. And I believe for nurses to qualify for the NCLEX, you have to go to a special body as well. So that's where you get one. If you are a nurse, there are several nurse videos on this channel that will pop up in the corner here that you need to go watch to understand the process if you are trying to migrate as a nurse in Canada. Now, what do you get when you submit all this wonderful stuff to get an ECA from an organization? You will get a report that either says your education is equal to the same Canadian credential, or your education is less than the credential you claimed but still equivalent to something in Canada, or your education is not equal, or your institution is not recognized. So an example of this, I studied and got a 4 years bachelor degree. So I had to say this was the length of study and this was the degree. It was a Bachelor of Arts. So on my ECA, the report said field of study or degree, 4-year bachelor degree, equivalent to Canadian 4-year bachelor degree. So they said, okay, the 4-year bachelor's degree was equal to a 4-year bachelor degree. If they didn't feel like it was up to par with a 4-year degree, they could have said a 3-year bachelor degree, or they could have said a 3-year diploma or a 3-year certificate, but still something in the post-secondary level is good. Now, if it says that your education is not equal, then you cannot claim the points and you cannot use the program or use the education in the immigration program that you're trying to qualify for. You might as well have not gone to school, is what they're saying. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. Sometimes it is a case where for like nurses, The curriculum may be very different in terms of maybe what they may have access to in terms of technology and learning and the type of procedures they do, like organ donations aren't done in some countries. And I learned this from our friend in the Bahamas, Deidre, who we interviewed on her process on what she did for all of this as a nurse, right? So her credential thing said not equivalent, and so she needed to do something else to get her up to par. So this is what you get at the end of this. You either get something that says, yes, I can claim the points, or no, I gotta go do some sort of a bridging program or something. Now, the cost varies by institution. And some of this here, tax, there's some fees that may or may not be charged depending on where you are applying from. If you're not in Canada, then you don't pay tax. If you are in Canada, you pay the tax. WES has a fee of about $248 for an ECA. However, there is an additional charge for courier services, and we're going to see that in shortly when we do the WES step-by-step walkthrough. This next institution at the University of Toronto is charging about $210, and they have this thing that says conditional fees may apply. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming that they're talking about courier or anything that is additional outside of just assessing your degree, like sending it to you, maybe. Yeah. So this company, 215 plus or minus, because, you know, things like courier, 200. This courier fee was pretty clear. 15 for domestic, 75 if you're outside of Canada. This one was 200, 26 domestic, 75 if you are outside of Canada. You need to take into account that this is just to pay the organization to assess your degree. There are going to be additional costs to get your transcript from your school to this organization or the professional body, right? Transcripts are usually something that you have to pay for, and you have to pay for the school not just to get your transcript, but also to send it to WES if there is a case where it is not an electronic agreement, where they have to send it via mail. So you need to take this into account in your budgeting. Now, we're going to do a step-by-step walkthrough of World Education Services. One thing to note is that your Education Credential Assessment Report is valid for 5 years after it is issued. So if you are in Canada and you're gunning for express entry or some other type of immigration program that is likely going to need an Education Credential Assessment, get it done. Get it out of the way. Get it done. Right? Processing times may vary, and there may be hiccups or hurdles if your school didn't send the transcript. So just get it done, get it out of the way, and don't miss out on any opportunities to be in the express entry pool. So here is our WES step-by-step walkthrough. Okay, so here is the World Education Services website, WES. It's wes.org/CA. And I mean, here's where you can change the country if you end up on the wrong country. You're looking for Canada. And so what we're going to do is get started. And we're going to go and say we're going to use it for Canada. We know this. And so there's options here, but usually you're going to be doing it for IRCC. If you're doing the agri-food pilot, obviously that's the one you're going to choose. But for the most of us, we will be doing the IRCC. So we're going to do that application. Here where you're going to go in and put in your email address, send you a verification code. Standard sign up RARA. Okay, continue. So now it's going to ask you to enter all your personal information. Okay, so we're going to just do that really quickly. Create your account. Once you get through to that part there, now it's going to ask you to give in some more information and then review what you need to review. Okay, so make sure that your name is okay, all these wonderful things, put in your date of birth, your gender, and then you're gonna do your phone number. So presumably you are in some other country, and so you want to enter your phone number there. Next. Now, this is where the information is going to help to guide you along the way. Okay, so IRCC asks applicants to submit only their highest completed credential. So that's 1 point to note. So if you have a degree, you only need to do this for your degree, not your degree and your high school education or previous certificate or associate's degree that you got. for an ECA. Please review the notes below to determine which credentials you should send. To avoid delays, do not send additional documents unless they're requested by WES. Okay? If you have a PhD, you do not need to submit your bachelor's or master's degree for evaluation. If you have a master's degree, you do not need to submit your bachelor's degree. And if you have a bachelor's degree, you do not need to submit your secondary school credential unless it is listed amongst the requirement documents. So now we're going to go in and say add credential. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to say that I went to school in good old Jamaica. I did a higher education, name of institution. So say, for instance, you went to the University of the West Indies. Name of the certificate, I don't know, bachelor's degree. Let's put that. First name, you're going to put in your name. Second name. And so this is exactly as it appears on the certificate or the award or the credential that you got from the school. So see that little note there? It says last name exactly as it appears on the credential, right? So put it exactly. Field of study, this is not a required. So the ones with the stars are required. Ones without the stars are if it is relevant to what you're doing. Like second, your middle name isn't necessary if it's not on your degree. Field of study as well. Year awarded. So we're going to go and say 2008. And then you attended from probably 2004 to 2008 for like a 4-year degree. Save. And right, like it said, you only will be submitting your highest level. It gives you space for an additional credential if you need to. However, like this said, we're only submitting the highest level of education, which is a bachelor's degree. Okay, your report will not contain the following: anything below secondary education, such as primary, elementary school, non-academic credentials like Microsoft training, or professional or career training qualifications. Okay, next. Please enter the recipients you would like the WES certificate to be sent to. So this is going to you because you're going to get it, and then you need that certificate number for your express entry profile or for your permanent residency application. So the address that you're going to add is your address. So let's do that. Let's just put that we are in. Okay, let's say that we're doing this from when we're in Jamaica. I don't know. People are doing this whether you're in Canada or in Jamaica or wherever the case is. So we're going to say down the road. The thing, P.O. Box, rah-rah. You're going to do all of that. Delivery method. You can say international courier or standard mail via Canada Post. Standard mail via Canada Post is going to be local for people who are in Canada. International is people who are outside of Canada. In this case, I put my Jamaican address, so it's going to be international. If you are in Canada, you're going to put standard mail Canada Post. So for this case, Canada International. So as you see, this is an additional fee on top of what the cost is for the education credential assessment. Okay, so note that it is $248 or so plus delivery, depending on whether you're inside of Canada or outside of Canada. Save. Okay, so we're going to say next. Second recipient, please add immigration institute you want a report to be sent to. You may only add institutions from our pre-approved list. Each institution will result in additional fee. Now, this isn't something that you would need to do per se. If we were to add a recipient company, is there a drop-down list? If this is relevant to you, then so be it. This was not relevant in my case for express entry and won't be relevant in a lot of the cases for people who are trying to just prove their education for an immigration program. So this usually is not something that you need to fill out, but if you need to know whether this is relevant to you or not, if there's an institution that is receiving your report. Generally, it comes to you. Next. So now it tells you the standard processing time is 35 business days after receipt, review, and approval of all documents and payment in full. If additional research or anything is needed, then it may take longer, right? So now it's telling you that you'll get this wonderful thing. You'll get a report provided to you via PDF, right? So that will be through the portal, likely, or your email. It's accessible by IRCC. This is why you don't need to mail it to IRCC, because once you have the assessment and it's doing it for IRCC within their system, they're sharing the information with IRCC once you have that certificate number. You will get a paper official thing in the mail, official report in the mail, and then electronic storage of your report and verified transcripts for future use. And that is for $248 plus the courier fees to send the report to you wherever you are. So you're saying, okay, that's a nice information. Thank you so much. Next. Now it's going to ask you for the required documentation or required documents checklist. Okay, so all documents below must be sent to WES for evaluation report. Upon receipt and review of your credentials, WES may require additional stuff to contact you. So your education is a bachelor's degree from University of West Indies in Jamaica. Okay. So now it's going to give you a document checklist. There's all this wonderful stuff that you can read here. Applicants must select their highest degree. So we already know this. We went through that already. Do not send original documents. WES does not require like your actual certificate, your graduation certificate. They don't need that. What they will need is your academic transcript. Okay. So your academic transcript will come from your institution. This is an official document issued by the institution you attended that lists the subjects taken and the degree earned for each year of study. What you need to do is you need to contact the university to send the documents electronically to WES. Go to the University of West Indies page. See how that they have like a whole thing here where they say click this thing and it goes to University of West Indies page to understand the process. And they've done a really good job at like linking you to the different universities process page, and I'm assuming they've done that for every university. I would hope so, but they've done it here. Please contact please contact the university to send your documents electronically to WES, which is really interesting. Electronically versus via mail. Go to the University of West Indies page and follow the steps. WES has an established relationship with the University of West Indies and has provided the university officials with instructions. So they are supposed to know the process. Adrian, we need to talk. So once you go to that page here, you're going to follow the steps. They give you the links. So this is specific to the University of West Indies. Of course, people from all over the world, this won't be relevant to you, but I would hope that your university would populate here and you'd be able to click and go to that. Now, it also needs your degree certificate, but remember we said they don't want any original documents. Do not send your degree to WES. They need a clear, legible photocopy of the degree or diploma. And what you need to do is you take the document and you upload it, clear, legible copy of this document to your account. So I know this says a photocopy, but it's really a scan, because you would take the document, scan it electronically into the computer, and you would, I guess is that a photocopy? I don't know. And then you would upload it to your account, which you have just created. So it will be inside this portal. How to send the documents, okay? So it's repeating this, which is here already. How to send your documents. Please contact the university to send your documents electronically to WES. Go to the University of Wendy's page to follow the steps and instructions. If you need to send it by mail, this is the instruction to send it by mail, and you use your reference number, which you will get at the end of paying and this whole process. You will get a reference number. By courier, this is the instruction. So if it's by land, like normal mail, you go drop it in the mailbox. By courier, like FedEx or Canada Post or some special courier service, this is the information. And see, this courier mail handling facility accepting DHL, FedEx, UPS, etc. Documents should not be delivered in person. Okay, from official courier companies only. And this is the information you give with the reference number on it to this address. Now that you understand this and you say, okay, this is my document checklist, I am going to do all these things. we're gonna go next. And I mean, if you go to my account, let's go to my account and see what happens over here. So it says go to my account, application started. Your application has been saved. Review, continue that, upload CV or resume, add your CV or resume. This is optional, you don't need to do that. But it's not seeing where I should upload the degree yet because you've not gotten to the end. So you don't need to do that yet. Next. Now it's just verifying your information here, okay? Purposes are for immigration. This is my information here. I went to this school. I am paying this much money. Here's all these wonderful things to deliver to down the road in St. James, Montego Bay. And your total price is $340. All are in Canadian dollars. So you can say, I authorize WES to verify the authenticity of my document. I certify that the information I submitted is accurate and authentic. I have read and accept the terms and conditions. So of course, the most told lie in the world. I have read and accept the terms and conditions. When people, it's really just saying I accept it, but I didn't read it. But you check it out just to make sure that you're comfortable with it. Whether you're comfortable or not, you need this. So if you're not comfortable, try another company. And by checking that box, you acknowledge that WES does not require any original documentation and all these wonderful things. And you understand that WES will not, nothing that you send to them will be returned to you. And you agree to submit the documents as required. Yes. Okay. Next. Now they're confirming your information again. Confirm. Confirm. Yes. Your selection below will determine your eligibility to pay tax. So if you're a resident, you have to pay tax. If you're not a resident, you don't have to pay tax. So we're going to say, I'm not a resident. So then you don't pay any taxes. Total $340. I am paying by credit card or Western Union on money transfer. Have a credit or debit card. Yeah, right thing that. Just do that. And then we are going to submit. When you click submit, clicking the submit button will temporarily redirect you to the payment partner for processing. Then you go here, enter your information and submit payments. Once you submit payment, it will process and say that, okay, your application is paid for and things are in process. What you need to go and do is upload the certificate from your school, your degree. So upload a scan of it and then go to your education website to apply for your transcript, noting that transcripts from the institutions will attract an additional cost. So it's $340 plus or minus whatever this cost is. And if it has to be sent via mail, because maybe they don't have an electronic transfer agreement, maybe if they have to send it by mail, then you're gonna have to pay for courier services as well. So those are fees that you need to take note of. Okay, so this has been your WES walkthrough. After here, I feel like it's pretty straightforward as to what to do. They've done a really good job at giving you instructions and telling you what to do. So go ahead, put in your payment information, submit payment, and voila. This, like we said, has to be done at different points in your immigration process. So some people might be doing it from their home country, some people might be doing it from within Canada, depending on the program that you're trying to qualify for. Like if you're trying to do express entry from your home country, obviously you're going to need this. If you're now a postgraduate work permit holder within Canada or an international student within Canada, guys, just get this done. It is valid for 5 years. Get it done, get it out of the way, so that if there's an opportunity to jump in the pool, you can jump in the pool and start swimming. I hope you got value from this video. If you did, hit the like button and consider subscribing and stick around for more helpful videos like this. I appreciate you and the time you spent to watch. That's it for now. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.